as a student, these are the student statistics I'm going to see. I get to this screen by clicking on the circle next to the course, whichever course I want to see the statistics for. And the first screen I'm going to see is this. So it's a collection of yellow dots joined by a line. Each of these yellow dots represents 1 day of testing, and each of these yellow dots has or represents a cumulative score. And what this cumulative score is made of is the 12 latest questions, the 12 questions on all lessons tested so far. So it's showing an average life score. If you want to know more about what life score is, please go on to the tutorial on life scores. So we've got lots of little yellow lines, and they're joined by a black line. So as a student, what my aim should be is to have as many yellow dots as possible and have them as close together as possible. So a long black line means that there's been a long time has passed between the previous testing session and the last testing session. So here we had a long period of time without any testing activity taking place. And then here we got back to a bit more regular testing. So I want to see lots of yellow dots, not many long black lines. Now the other thing you will see is that there's a green line where the 90% score is, and what this green line is basically it's for students to aim for this, especially ideally all the time, but especially in the run up to the exam. We want to see those scores getting as close to the 90% as possible. If students can get their life score as close to this point as possible, this indicates that they are well prepared for the exam in terms of their subject knowledge. So we want these yellow dots to get close to this 90% line. If they go above it, that's even better. But that's what we're aiming for. Now, the next screen we can see as a student is this effort screen. So I've got here my effort is divided, or I can see it by chapter, by topic, or by lesson. So the way I'm going to understand this, so if you see, I've got two little donuts, one for studying, the other one for testing. So if I look at the studying, what this is showing me, I can hover over it and see, for example, that for the chapter on the structure and functions of the musculoskeletal system, I'm only at 62%, so I still need more to do. For this chapter, sociocultural, there's quite a lot to do. For this sports psychology, I've only done so far 10.5%. So depending on whereabouts in the year I am, this might be all right, or this may require quite a lot of work. So I can, for example, if I'm interested in looking at what exactly I need to do more studying on in this particular chapter, I can click here, and then this takes me into the different topics. So I've got here that within this chapter I've got the topics of the skeleton, the joints and the muscles, and I know that in the skeleton I've done all right for studying. My testing is going okay, it can be better, but this is in general or cumulatively how I'm doing in each of these topics. And if then I want to look into specific lessons of these topics, I can, for example, if I click here on joints, I can then go on to the different lessons within that topic, and then I have a more detailed view of how I'm doing both in terms of studying and in terms of testing. I can equally also, for example, if I'm on topic, I can also get to that information if I click inside. So if I click on the donut here, for example, it takes me to that particular lesson. Okay, so here if I want to go, so this is showing me muscle types. Okay, so if I click, so from topics, as I said, if I click on each here, for example, this is going to take me to muscles, and here we are. Okay, and then the other thing we can see as a student as well is how we're doing with checkpoints. So checkpoints is going to show me every time I've done a checkpoint, all the different scores I've taken. So for example, checkpoint 1 I've taken many, many times. Sometimes I've done really well, sometimes I've done very poorly. I may have clicked and not done much. So it shows you all of the different scores you've achieved within that doing that checkpoint. So I've got, this is all the scores for checkpoint 1 every time I've done it, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, and so on. And it also shows me the ones I haven't started yet. It tells me I haven't started